First and foremost, we give our praise, glory, honor, power unto the Most High YAHAWAH, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Aman, HallalYAH, Qam Yasharhalah, Qam Yasharhalah. Shalom, Shalom, Yasharhalah, Shalom, Israel. Shalom to all the camps out there on the highway, on the byway, doing the work of the Most High, right? The elder, the soldier, the young brother, right? Shalom, Shalom to all the sister, right? Holding down for the Lord, doing the best that they can every day, right? Shalom, Shalom to every one of you. There's the brother Frank coming at you. The brother Frank coming at you. As you know, today, I believe is the 9th or the 8th of December, right? Today, the 8th of December, as you already know, right? According to the pagan calendar, right? So last time we touched on couple of commandments, a couple of law that often we do not know as a nation. As a nation, the law, the commandment of the Most High, we lack it. All right, we don't know the law, the commandment of the Most High. The law, the commandment of the Most High are the light, right? The light for our mind, our spirit, all right, to keep you at peace, right? So you got to keep in mind, it's important that we return unto the law through who? Hamashiach, all right? With the 12 tribes of Israel, with the Israelite, right? It doesn't matter if the people believe or not. It does not matter if the heathen don't believe it. It doesn't matter. What matters is thou serve the Most High. What the Most High said, that's the most important, right? It doesn't matter how the government feel. It doesn't matter how the U.S. government feel, the French government, the Nigerian government, the Jamaican government. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Hollywood feel, right? It doesn't matter what the mainstream media think, your politician. It doesn't matter. What matters the most is thou serve the Most High. What matters the most is thou serve the Most High. Are we to obey God or we got to obey man? Right? Let's go right here. As the Spirit move me. Let's go right here in the book of Acts. Right? Let's see who we're supposed to obey. Right? There's a book of Acts. Right? Let's go in the book of Acts. There's a book of Acts, chapter 5, and verses 29. And you got to keep in mind, because this happened in the time of our forefather. Right? In the time of Peter. This was happening in the time of Peter. So Peter was filled with the Holy Ghost, right? Peter was filled with the Holy Ghost. He spoke. He literally rebuked our forefather back in those days. Because they were telling them they can't teach Hamashiach like you see today, right? They were telling them they were forbidden that no, you can't teach Hamashiach right here. You can't teach the Bible here. So let's see what Peter had to say through the Holy Spirit. All right. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 29. Let's read from 28, saying, actually, all right, let's read it. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, and we're going to read from 25, all right, 5 and 25. Then came one and told them, saying, behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people. So you got to remember, that's what we got to keep in mind. As a servant of the Most High, through Yahawashi Mashiach, the Most High is going to try us, right? The Most High does not tempt anyone. Satan tempts people. The Most High will try you to see where your faith is standing, right? And the more you be in this true brother and sister, the more the Most High will try you, right? To see where you stand at. Do you really believe? The Most High can break, like, you know, I don't know, your family, to see where you stand. What you going to do? Are you going to go off? Are you going to rely on the Most High? Are you going to be patient Are you going to endure a little bit? Or you just going to go off? You're going to run to east? So are you going to stop? I mean, like, the Most High got to try. Because if we are not tried, then we a bastard. All right? Because in the Bible, you got to understand. Often we know the word bastard just means pretty much someone who does not know who is his father. But it's beyond that when you read in the Bible. And let me go over there first. All right? Let me go over there. Let's go in the book of Hebrew. Right? Let's go in the book of Hebrew 12. All right? Let's go in the book of Hebrew chapter 12. This is the book of Hebrew chapter 12 and verse 7. Actually, I read from 6. All right? Actually 5, right? Let's go to 5. Hebrew 12 and 5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speak unto you as unto children. As unto children. As unto children. Because you correct children so they can learn and be more obedient, more righteous, God-fearing, and the list goes on and on and on. So you got to keep that in mind. So we are, as the children for the Most High, we are the children of the Most High. We are the children of the Most High. We are the children of the living power. We are the children. So let's read it. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord. So we cannot avoid that. Right? Brother and sister cannot avoid that. Mainly when you wake up, when you come in this room, the more you keep in a commandment, the more you draw to the Most High, the more the Most High will try you. So you got to remember, the more you study, the more you do it, all right, the more the Most High will try you. The Most High will try you. When the Most High try you, you do not sin, right? You believe in the Most High fully, and you don't go off, right? You stay strong, all right, through prayer and fasting. Yo, bro, morning. Do you got a minute, bro? All right, let's read it. He say, my son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. So the Most High got to rebuke us, right? And that's the thing that most of our people don't like rebuke, right? As a nation, and that's why we went into slavery, right? So-called blacks, Latino, and Native. The main reason why we went to slavery, the main reason why we've been oppressed is because we don't like correction. We don't like correction. We don't want to be and told what to do. As a nation, we don't like to be told what we need to do. We don't want to obey the Most High, right? That's why the Most High, he set them into war captivity, but we brought the captivity up on our own self. You can't blame anyone for that because we did it to our own self, right? So-called blacks, Latino, and Native and African American, right? And the list goes on and on and on. Let's continue. He said, my son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him, right? Verse 6, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourge every son whom he receiveth. So you got to understand. So when you wake up in this room, maybe the Most High have not tried you yet, but be prepared and be ready. The Most High, one day or the other, he's going to try you. The Most High is going to scourge you. The Most High has the mean, he know how he'll do it. Maybe the Most High smite your father, he smite your mother, he smite your wife. So many things happen. Maybe the Most High smite you. Maybe you lose your job. Maybe you get fired. All right? So many things, man. All right? You're going to go through some trial and tribulation. And that's what we're starting right now. He said, and scourging every son whom he receiveth. So once the Most High accepts you, the Most High is going to put you on the trial. The Most High got to see your spirit. Do you really believe or you fake it? All right? Are you honest or you fake it? All right? Or you just want to use the Most High for your, I would say, just for your interest, right? And once you get what you need, then you don't care about the Most High. He said, if ye endure chastening, Yahawah dealeth with you as with son. For what son is he whom the father chasteneth not? So a father who loves his son, of his daughter is going to correct him or her. It's very simple. That's what we call love. Love, when you correct, love is what? Correcting your neighbor, your brother, your sister, right? Your son, your daughter. That's what is love. But the vast majority of the world, they don't understand what is love. Most people think love is about you going to a restaurant, you buy a car for your mom, you buy this house for your dad. That's not love. According to the Bible, love is what when you rebuke your brother, your sister, your uncle, your mama, your auntie, and the list goes on and on and on. That's what is the meaning of love. Because love is the keeping of the commandment of the Most High. So if one of our people, our brother, is not keeping the commandment, our job is to let them know, is to correct. Our job is to rebuke. Because if you don't rebuke that, it means you hate your brother. It means you hate your sister. If you see your brother or your sister in the midst of sin, you got to rebuke your brother. You got to let him know. You got to let your sister know. Now, if he or she refuses to listen, that's a different story. His blood is going to be upon his own head. His blood is going to be upon his own head. You already done your part, right? As the Mosai said to the prophet Ezekiel. Right? When you go to Ezekiel chapter 3, you can read about it, right? He said, but if ye be without chastening, whereof are all partaker, then are ye bastard and not son. So if the Mosai does not bring you through trial and tribulation, even a Mashiach, the righteous man, way too righteous, a Mashiach. What happened to him? The Most High scourged him. The Most High scourged him because of our sin, because of our iniquity. So you got to keep that in mind, right? So waking up in this truth, the Most High is going to bring you through fire, right? The Most High is going to try you. The Most High will bring you to trial and tribulation. You got to keep in mind, all right? So let's go on right here. This is the book of Acts chapter 5 and verses 25. Then came one and told them, saying, behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people. So Peter, he was tried. Peter was arrested with a couple of brothers. They cast them in a jail, in a prison for teaching the word of the Most High. Right? For teaching the word. Right? You got to keep in mind. So this is serious. So Peter was tried. Paul was tried. Ezekiel was tried. Jeremiah was put in the jail too, in the prison too. Though he didn't sin, he didn't do no wrong. He was just put in the jail for the namesake of the Lord and the Yahawashi. So you gotta keep in mind that definitely we're gonna get tried. We're gonna get tried. We just gotta stay strong in the Most High. Remember, it's not easy, right? But we got to endure. That's what the scripture says. Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. We got to endure until the end. When you're running for a marathon, or when you're running for what? A cross country, guess what? You don't run halfway and you give up. No. You run until you win. You got to run. We got to keep on running. It's a race. We got to run. We got to keep on running. All right? So let us read it. We'll continue. Acts chapter 5 and verse 26. Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council. And the high priest asked them, saying, did not we straightly command you that ye should not teach in this name? So, like, it happened to me. It happened to two brothers and myself several times, where you can't teach the Bible here. This is a private business, a private property, blah, 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 all hell breakers. Hey, it's all good. We move out. We move to the next city or to the next block, whatever we can do the work, right? I've been kicked so many times. I've been kicked so many times for the word of the Most High. So it's a joy. You say we got to rejoice when those things happen, right? Even though sometimes We get frustrated. We get like, you know, you feel like, you know, because you got a zeal for the Most High, right? You get really, really, you know, kind of like upset. You know why? Because you being kicked out just for the word of the Most High, right? But hey, it's part of the prophecy, right? So let's say, saying, did not we strictly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intend to bring this man blood upon us, right? Then Peter and the other apostle answered and said, we ought to obey God, Yahawah, rather than man. So you gotta keep in mind, that's the main thing. We gotta obey the Most High. We must obey the Most High, right? We don't want to be man pleaser. No, not man pleaser. We must obey the Most High. Thou serve the Most High and thou serve the Most High. All right? So you got to keep in mind, it doesn't matter how somebody feels, they're feeling, we still got to do the work, right? We see a lot of our people say, yesterday I saw this video, the brother Deacon from Security, he posted this, it's like one of those quick, like short video on YouTube, and I saw one of our, you know, a wicked man, one of these wicked of our people, right, a wretch, and he's there, you know, he got a couple sample of our people sitting, and he said, you see them deceiving them, right? Very false witness against the Israelites, against the camps, right? I mean, but it's all good, man. That's part of what the work with HaMashiach, right? We're gonna go through, as you already know, trial and tribulation, right? Things gonna happen. So let's go right here. Let's jump right here. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17 and verses 1, right? So we're going to touch a little bit on the law, the commandment, here, just a little bit here and there. Then we're going to dive into the news, all right? Then we're going to dive into the news, all right? So let's read it. This is the book of Leviticus, right? This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17 and verses 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his son and unto all the children of Israel, right? You see that? And unto all the children of Israel, right? So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indian, based on your father. Based on your father. It's not based on your mom, right? You can't be half Chinese and half Arab. It doesn't exist. You are what your father is, right? Did your mama give you half born? You were born half in China and half born in Saudi Arabia? No. So you can't be half. Oh, African American. No, there's no such thing as African American. It's not biblical. You can't find African American in the Bible. It's not in the Bible. Those are man-made. Esau came up with all those garbage. African American. It's not in the Bible. And we are not African. God didn't call the land Africa. So we are not African. If your father, your mother is telling you that you're African, tell him no, that's not true. Ask him to show you in the Bible. Where did God call the country the continent Africa? No, man. It's the land of Ham. It's called Egypt sometimes. And that's all, man. The land of Ham. Because that land was given to children of Ham. Mainly northeast. Northeast was given to children of Ham. Except for Canaan, that went and took over our land, right? The motherland. So you gotta keep in mind, there is no halfway. I'm half this, I'm half Italian, I'm half French. No, that's madness. Okay, that means you're sick in your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't be half Italian and half French. No, it's not biblical, right? You might be a citizen or a denizen of a country. That's fine, right? But the seed of your father determine what your nationality. Point blank period. The seed of your father is not based on your mama. No. Oh, well, I'm half American and I'm half French. No. First of all, There is no such thing as America. Okay. There is no such thing. You gotta understand that. You might be a citizen, okay, a citizen of America. You gotta understand that. These are basic things that everybody's supposed to. They don't teach this in the school. All they teach you is madness. All they do is brainwash you. The mainstream media, right? The propaganda, the lie, everything you see. That's what they teach you, but they don't tell you the truth. Because they can't teach you the truth. Because if they teach you the truth, it won't benefit them. It won't work for the agent. Right? It won't work for a certain agent. So you gotta keep in mind. Right? You are what your father is. Point blank period. All right. So the Mosai is speaking to the Israelite. All right. The Mosai is speaking to the Israelite. That's why mostly, often you hear brother in the camps when they're breaking down, when they're bringing out the word of the Mosai. What do they say usually? The brother will say so-called black, so-called Latino, so-called Mexican. Because why? Those things are not biblical. You can't find it in the Bible. The Mosai didn't call our people in Mexico Mexican. The Mosai didn't. Esau labeled them Mexican. The Mosai did not call our people in Nigeria Nigerian. No. The enemy done all those things. So you gotta understand. So let's read. So the Mosai speaking unto Isaiah, speak unto Aaron and unto his son and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, this is the thing which the Lord hath commanded, saying, right? Who commanded? The Mosai. Now, do you believe in God? If you believe in God, then you need to do what the Mosai said. He said, this is the thing which the Lord is all capital letter, capital L, capital O, capital A, and capital D. That's the Mosai had commanded, saying, right? That's what the Mosai commanded, saying. Let's see what the Mosai said. Let's see what the Mosai said that we got to do, right? What man soever there be of the house of Israel that killeth an ox or a lamb or goat in the camp, or that killeth out of the camp, and bringing it out unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, right, to offer an offering unto the Lord before the tabernacle of the Lord shall be impure unto that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. So you gotta understand. Today we don't have to do that, right? Today we don't have to do that, right? Back in the time of our forefather, before the death and the resurrection of Yahawashi, you can't just slay a beast like that. No, man. You can't just slay a beast anyhow you want. You can't do. But today, because of the blood of Yahawashi, it's fine, right? It's fine. Let us continue. I want to jump to. Let's jump to verses 10. All right, let's read it. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, and verses 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel. So you got to keep in mind, of the house of Israel. So the subject right here, the recipient right here are the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, so-called Latino, and so-called native, similarly Indian, and the list goes on and on and on. According to your father, all right? The message is being given unto them. He really say, and whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, any manner of blood, right? Right? Any manner of blood, right? Because you got to make sure that the meat is fully cooked. Right? When you slice the meat and you see the blood, you cannot eat it. You got to recook it, brother. You got to cook it again, sister. You can't eat it halfway done. No, that's what Esau. You can't eat the meat halfway done. You can't do it. You can't do it, right? You can't eat the meat halfway done. No, it got to be fully and thoroughly cooked. It got to be done. The meat got to be fully cooked. That's what the Mosai said. You can't eat no manner of blood. It doesn't matter. No manner of blood. No, that's what the Most High said. Right? He said, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. So you got to understand. And that's the main reason why the Most High said that the land cannot be cleaned except by the blood of those that shed it. Right? So Babylon the Great, right? Babylon the Great can only be cleaned by what? The blood of the Edomite that shed it. The blood of the Edomite that slay and murder and kill northern kingdom. Yes, that's the only way you can clean the land. You can't clean the land by buying some chemical, some detergent, or maybe you want to run to Home Depot, or maybe you want to run to Lowe's and buy some cleaning supply and think you're going to spray the earth. It's not working. It doesn't work like that. That's confusion. That's madness. Okay? The land can only be cleaned by the blood of them that shed it. Point blank, period. All right? So if you defile the land with blood, the land can only be cleaned by your blood. That's all. If you shed innocent blood, guess what? The Most High said the only way the land can be cleaned and purged is by your blood, or the blood of those that are shedding. So you already know. So you can already think about what is going to happen to Esau, Edom, Idumean. You can already think about it. Just think about it. Okay, it's very simple. So let us continue. He said, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your soul. For it is the blood that make an atonement for the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourn among you eat blood. There we go. So if you got any hidden that come, let's suppose, I don't know, maybe they come over to your house. Anywhere in your house, you already know, right? You'll be cooking a food, whatever. If they want to cook food in your house, you already know what's got to happen. You got to make sure that whatsoever they're cooking, whatever meat, it got to be done fully. No eating halfway. All right, so let's continue. Verse 13. So this is part of the commandment, right? Now, the thing is like today, that our people that want to follow the trend. Our people want to follow the trend, right? What am I saying by saying that? Is that when they see Esau come out with some new thing, or the hidden the news, they're doing some new, everybody want to follow. Everybody want to follow, right? Esau have been eating bloody meat for so long, since Genesis chapter 25. The nation of Esau, Edom, the Edomite, the Idumean, they have been eating halfway cooked, red, bloody meat for so long. It's not new. It is in their gene. It's in their spirit. But guess what? Now our people, they tend to eat like that too. So-called blacks, Latino, and Native, they say, yeah, we like it to have a little bit kind of dripping the blood, juicy. That's what they say. That's what they say. You can't do it, man. The meat got to be fully done. It got to be cooked, right? Otherwise, it'll be considered what sin. Otherwise, it will be considered sin. So you got to keep in mind, when you go in a restaurant with your wife, if your wife be an Edomite or whatever, listen, man, you got to let her know, man, not eating red meat halfway cooked. It got to be fully done. If you cut it and you slice it and you see a hint of blood, you got to call the waitress or the waitress or whatever, you name it, the bartender or whoever, listen, you got to call them, they got to cook it. It got to be fully, completely done, no blood. Thou saith the Most High. All right. So let's continue. Here's the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, and verse 13. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten. Why is the Most High said that may be eaten? Why? Because remember, we went over that on Monday. You have what? The dietary law. You have the list of the beasts that we are allowed to eat. We can only eat fish that have what? Fin and scale. You can't eat no catfish. You can't eat no crabs. You can't eat no crawfish. You can't eat no, you can't eat that. That would be what considered what? A sin. It will be a sin. So that's why the Most High said that may be eaten. Because there is a law concerning or regarding what we can eat and what we cannot eat. And that's what the Most High is speaking does. Right? So let's read it. He said, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust. And this, to be honest with you, I know this when I was a child, right? When I was a child, anytime, I know at some point, like I say, our forefather, they done a lot of crazy, evil things. Now, when I was a child, often when we slay chicken, right? When we want to slay chicken, right? We'll dig the ground, right? They'll take the knife and dig the ground, okay? Give some water to the chicken before slaying the chicken, right? The same thing I've seen that done with goat, cow, but at some point too, let me tell you, at some point too, they'll collect the blood a little bit, right? Mostly from cow or goat, and the abominable pig back in those days, they'll collect. They're gonna go make a soup. Unless they're gonna make tomato soup, and they're gonna take that blood, they take a little bit and they mix it. They mix it with flour, whatever. Then they're gonna dump it in the soup, in the tomato soup, and cook it. But we can't eat it, right? We can't eat it. That's abominable, right? We can't deal with no blood at all. And there is another thing. I can't remember. There's a way that they collect the blood and they freeze it. There is a way that they do it. I never done it. I don't know. I remember my parents, they'll buy it sometime, right? They'll go in the market and they buy it. It's popular in Peru too. Peru, they still doing it this very last day. Now, the beautiful thing, all praise to the Most High, since 2016, or before 2016, right? A lot of our people in West Africa, they don't cook with blood anymore. They stop it. So thank the Most High for that. All praise be unto the Most High. But like I said, man, if you go to West Africa, Benin, Nigeria, Togo, you see, this is the law, the commandment that was given unto us. So before we kill, the people kill, they'll dig the ground with the knife or whatever they want to use. And when they slay the chicken or the goat, whatever, they let the blood run through the hole, right? So that's the commandment, that's the law, right? It's given to the Israelites. That's how we know that we are the children of the Most High. Because most of this law, a lot of them are being still applied this very last day in West Africa, Benin, Nigeria, Togo, and the list goes on and on and on. All right? For it is the life of all flesh. You see that? The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore, I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. It doesn't matter. We cannot eat it. Point blank, period. Thou saith the Most High, thou saith the Most High. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth shall be cut off. You see that? So, you know, you got to keep in mind, it's important, right? No manner of blood should be eaten. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whether it be goat, chicken, whatever. Listen, we cannot do it. That's what the Most High says. All right? Because the life is in the blood. The life is in the blood. All right? And the Most High give us the blood as atonement. That's why the blood of Amashiach, right? So you gotta keep that in mind. It's important that we share this thing with our brother, the new sister, those that don't know yet, so they can change the way they eat, the way they live, things that they do, so they won't be sinning or provoking the Lord. All right? Let's read. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, and verse 15, right? We're going to touch on another law, right? We're going to touch on another law, another commandment. And this commandment, like I say, I must say to you again, I've seen it before. In my dad's house, right? In Benin, right? Known as what? The kingdom of Judah. And we know is a mix. You got Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all means, you know. So in the house, if any bird die, we bury it straight up. No one eat that joint. We don't mess with that. If a bird or an animal die, guess what? Bury right there, point blank period. A bury, that's it. Especially what people say often, if you like, they'll say, well, is a sacrifice, it replaces somebody. Yeah, people say that all the time. They say you can't eat it. If it died, the owner is like, well, it cannot cover the head of the owner, right? That's like, come on, if you go to West Africa, right? Let's suppose you owe 3 goats and they happen to die, 2 or 3, out of no reason. They were not sick. All of a sudden, they just fell and died. People who say that they cover the head of the owner, whoever, or they cover the head of maybe his son or his daughter, something like that. So I know for sure that dead animal in my hometown, like when you go to Benin, we don't deal with that. We don't deal with that. We don't eat that. All right? We don't eat that. You can't even eat it anyway. Why? Because that's a horrible, man. It's dead. It's dead. There won't be, there's no life. There is no life. Because once the animal, the beast died of its own, guess what? It's over. There's no life right there. There is no life. It's just very simple. Right? Like I said, that's another law or another commandment that the people keep in West Africa. Now, you might see 2 or 3 years, if the animal died, they'll see go and take it and eat it. You might see cases like that. But what I'm saying overall, in the house of my dad, when a beast, a bird, a chicken or something die, they bury it. Point blank period. That's it. That's it. All right? So let's read it again. And every soul that eateth, that which died of itself, you see that? Or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothing and bathe himself in water, and be unclean, until the evening. Then shall he be clean. All right? But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. All right? It's a command. So we got to do it. Right? It's a command. All right? All right? Let's read this. Let's read a little bit of this. Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your Yahawah. After the doing of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. So the Most High said, we cannot follow the way of the Babylonian, right? The Egyptian, and the list goes on and on and on, right? The Most High said, we cannot follow the way of Esau, Edom. We cannot follow the way of the Moabite, the Philistine, and the list goes on and on and on. The Most High said we cannot follow their way, man. The Most High said we cannot do the thing that they do. We cannot. Right? And that's what the scripture say. Envy thou not the oppressor when you go in the book of Proverbs 3:31, right? Let me see if I can bring it out quick. Let's go in the book of Proverbs 3:31. All right. Proverbs 3:31. If I'm not wrong. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his way. See that? And choose none of his way. For the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. So you gotta understand. You can't celebrate Christmas. You can't, man. It's not biblical. You can't find it. Right? You can't follow the way. You can't bring the Christmas tree in your house. You can't do that, man. The Most High will be angry at you. All right? So let's read it again here. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his way. That's what the Most High says. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his way, for the froward is abomination to the Lord, but his secret is with the righteous. All right? So back in the book of Leviticus chapter 18, right? The Most High said, Leviticus 18:3, after the doing of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, and after the doing of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. You see that? So that's what the Most High said. Right? The Most High said, we cannot follow the way of the Edomite. We cannot. The Most High said, don't do it. The Most High said, don't follow the way of the East Indian. Do not. The Most High said, don't follow the way of Babylon the Great. If everybody's doing it, you shouldn't do it. You should not do it. If everybody's dressing up this way, don't do it. In Babylon the Great, aka the United Snake of America, don't do it. That's what the Most High said. It's in the Bible. The Most High said we cannot follow them. We cannot live the way they live. The Most High gave us a set of rules. All right? Ye shall do my judgment, thou saith the Most High, hallelujah. Ye shall do my judgment and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your Yahawah. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgment, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. All right? Okay, keep in mind. Let's read. We'll recap on this and I'm going to jump. He said, none of you shall approach to any that is near or kin to him to uncover the nakedness. I am the Lord. All right? I am the Lord. Hey, hi, morning. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shall thou not uncover. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. So you understand, you know what is he talking about, right? So the Most High letting us know, as a man, you cannot sleep with your father's wife. You can't do that. It's called abomination. It's evil. You can't do that, man. And we know a lot of people do that these days. Now it's become like normal now. The society have normalized it. It's okay now. You cannot uncover the nakedness of your father, neither the nakedness of your mother. You can't do it. All right? It says, the nakedness of thy father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. There we go. You can't do that. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. So, man and woman, you got to control your body, your spirit, you got to do it, man. All right? He said, the nakedness of thy sister right? The daughter of thy father or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even the nakedness thou shalt not uncover. So you gotta understand, the Mosai telling us as a nation, you cannot sleep with your sister, and your sister cannot sleep with her brother. The Mosai said, don't do it. It's abominable. Is a grave, a deadly sin. So don't do it. Like we say, we know in a society, the society has normalized it. Democracy have normalized those things. And those things this day became what? Normal. The Mosai said, don't do it. So, brother and sister, if you're knowing this truth and you don't know this thing, we invite you to go read the book of Leviticus chapter 18. Leviticus 18, all right? And it goes into more detail, all right? Let's go right here, right? It said, let's jump to 17, right? Because this one is very, very popular this day. This is the one thing very popular today. Throughout the fucking of this earth is very, very popular today. So let's read it. This is the book of what? Leviticus 18, all right? And we're going to read from verses what? 17 says, thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, right? Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter. See that? So the Mosai say, if you marry someone, right, as your wife, she be your wife, guess what? You cannot go later and take that person's daughter or mother as your wife again. You can't do that. That's confusion, right? That's what the Mosai said. You can't do that. Because it's like I say, you go on the news, you can see those things happen these days. All over the place. Wickedness is all over the place. They'll have sex with the daughter, like sometimes they'll be living with the mother, and the mother daughter is there, and they still go ahead and defile the daughter. It's become normal these days, among our own people. Among our own people, so-called blacks, Latino, and native. The heathen, they're doing it all the time. But listen, I ain't worrying about the heathen. We worry about our people, so-called blacks, Latino, and native. So you cannot sleep or have sex with your mother-in-law. You can't do it. And you cannot have sex with your father-in-law. It goes both ways. Whether it be from the woman's side or the man's side. You can't do that. And you cannot neither uncover or have sex or sleep with his son or with his daughter. Same thing. You can't do it. The Mosai said, don't do it. All right? Leviticus chapter 18. All right? And let's read verses 18. All right? It says, neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. You see? So there's some exemption, right? Like the case of who? Leah and her sister. That's totally different. Okay? It was the will of the Most High to go down that way. That's a different story. It was revealed unto the Father. It was revealed unto the Father. It was revealed unto the Father. So you got to keep in mind. The Most High said, you cannot do it. Point blank, period. The Most High said, we cannot do that. The Most High says it's a sin. It's abominable. The Most High said, we can't do that. If the society has normalized it, guess what? Your so-called blacks, Latino, and native, you cannot do it. The Most High said, don't do it. Don't follow the society. That's what the Most High said. The Most High said, do not follow the society. All right? But you follow the Most High. You follow the Most High. That's what we're reading. All right. You follow the Most High, man. You follow the Most High and not the society. Right? Let's read it. He said to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. All right. Verse 19. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. So you already know. To the new brother, like the truth, the new sister, things like that, you gotta keep in mind. You cannot approach a woman that is in her time. You know what we're talking about. A woman who is in her time, whatever they gotta go through every month or whatever, you know, you already know. You can't touch her. When she's dealing with her issue, all right? When she's dealing with her issue, you cannot approach her to her point blank period. That's what the Most High said. You can't do. So we just want to touch on some of this law because, like I say, a lot of time as a nation, brother, we don't know it. Our people don't know it. So someone got to go over there and teach them, advise them. This is to exhort you, give you counseling, to let you know, right? You can't do that, brother. It's in the Bible. Leviticus chapter 18, you should read it. All right? All right? He said, this is the book of Leviticus chapter 18 and verses 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her. There we go. You can't do that. That's your neighbor's wife. So you cannot sleep with her. That's it. You cannot have sex with her. You cannot desire. You cannot. That's what the Most High said. Anyway, you should not be lying carnally with what? A woman, right? Because you don't want to have children. You're just doing it for the pleasure, right? The Most High said you cannot do that, right? All right? Let's read this. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy Lord. I am the Lord. So what does that mean? What does it mean? The Most High here, when you read about Molech, keep in mind, and that's what Joe Biden, keep in mind, Joe Biden, a couple of days ago, he posted on the Twitter or Instagram, whatever you name, about Christmas this year, Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And when you look on the background, guess what you see? There was a goat head right there. There was the Baphomet. And the Baphomet is what? The Moloch. And you know the Baphomet take one child sacrifice. They offer children to the Baphomet. That's what they do. So, and that's what they're about to do again. They're about to do it again. And they're going to turn around and talk about some weakness, right? And that's why the Most High is saying, what is the Most High saying? Abortion that have been done, anytime you do abortion, that means what? You're giving up what? Your seed unto Moloch. You're giving your seed unto Moloch. Your seed is your son and your daughter. Your seed is your son or your daughter. Whether it be 1 day old, whether it be 2 days old, whether it be 3 weeks old. And listen, the Most High say, don't kill the baby. If you are not ready to have a child, stay virgin. Do not approach no man. The same goes with the man. If the man is not ready to have a family, a child, or children, do not touch any woman. Stay chaste, or do not approach to any woman. Live the life of an inert, like Paul. All right? Like some of our forefathers, the Pharisees. So you got to keep in mind, that's what the Most High said. Thou serve the Most High, thou serve the Most High. Okay? That's what the Most High said. You cannot let your son or your daughter, right? He said, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire, right, to Moloch. Right? Moloch has to do with child sacrifice. Let me read in this version of Bible, today's English Bible. I want to see how they break it down. Right? I want to see how they break it down. I want to see how they translate this. All right, let's read this version, today's English version. Leviticus 18 and verse 21. Do not hand over any of your children Shalom. Do not hand over. Right? You see that? That's abortion. That's abortion. Whether you believe it or not. You can disagree, whatever is. That's what he's talking about. All right, let's read it again. I'm gonna read it slow. Like I said, this Bible is a decent Bible. I cannot like it. Right? It's called today's English version. Right? So let me read it. Leviticus 18 and 21. All right? Leviticus 18 and 21. Do not hand over any of your children. Right? Of course, because over here, when you read, it say your seed, right? Like we told you over and over. Your seed just means your son or your daughter. Remember, I said that earlier, right? So this translation is kind of decent, right? It's kind of decent. It makes it clear for the new brother, new sister to understand what is the Most High talking about. Because here, in the KJV, in the King James Version, the verses say, Leviticus 18, 21 from the KJV, it reads, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed. The word seed just means your son or your daughter. All right? Pass through the fire, right? To Moloch. Right? Neither shall thou profane the name of thy YAHAWAH. I am the Lord, right? So then when I go right here, right? Leviticus 18 and 21 in the today's English version, it reads, do not hand over any of your children to be used in the worship of the god Moloch. You see that? So anytime you do abortion, what you're doing, you're giving your son unto Satan, unto Moloch. That's what you do, whether you believe it or not. Whether you believe it or not. Again, we told you, to you that are parent, if you're a parent, you need to discipline your sons and your daughter. You got to discipline them. The scripture tells us. The scripture tells us that we got to nurture. You got to nurture your son and your daughter. Because if you do not discipline them, they're gonna bring what shame for you. They're gonna bring you. Listen, they're gonna bring you into tears. You gotta keep in mind. They're going to bring you into tears. They're going to bring you into trouble if you don't discipline them. If you try and raise them like eggs, you want to raise your son and your daughter like eggs, guess what? You might end up losing them. That's why you must discipline them. You got to discipline them according to the law, according to the Bible. Do not abuse them. Don't abuse your son and your daughter. But you must discipline them according to the law and the command, as the Most High said. Right? You got to do what the Most High said. All right? So you got to keep in mind. Again, we told you. Right? Do not hand over any of your children to be used in the worship of the god Moloch, because that will bring disgrace on the name of the Lord, on the name of YAHAWAH, the Lord. You see? All right? So you got to keep in mind. That's what the Most High said. Thou shalt the Most High, and thou shalt the Most High. That's what the Most High said. All right? Thou shalt the Most High, thou shalt the Most High. That's of the Most High. That's of the Most High. That's of the Most High. Hallelujah. Right? That's what the Most High said. And that's what the Most High said. All right, so let's continue. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, and verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. So you see, all right, that's what the Most High said. Now today, the world, they got a problem with this because they hate God. They hate God. That's why they got a problem with this law. In the beginning, the Most High said, the Most High blessed man and woman. And the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. The Most High blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply. Genesis 1:28. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28. All right. So the Most High say, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. Men with men, the Most High say you cannot do it. The Most High said, do not condone it and don't do it. Don't do it and do not condone it. Again, the Most High said, don't do it and do not condone it. Why? Because if you condone it, the Most High will bring judgment upon you. If you condone it, men dealing with men, women dealing with women, is called abomination. And the Most High will deal with you. The Most High, he'll deal with you, right? Because let me read this in the book of what? Let me see. I want to read in the book of Romans. Let's go quick in the book of Romans. Right, we're going to go in the book of Romans chapter 1. I want to show you exactly what I'm saying. Right? Let me read you this, right? Like the scripture say, right? Don't do it and do not condone it. Don't do it and don't condone it. All right? The Most High created what? Men and women. The government was not there. Your wicked, I don't know how you call them, they were not there. Okay. And your body does not belong to you because your body is the temple of the living power, Yahawah. Your body is the temple of God. And we be bought with what? A high price. So don't think you're on your own where you can do whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. No. You seducing your own self and it's going to hurt you. We belong unto God. We belong unto God. We don't belong to the government. We belong unto God. The government does not make baby. Does the government make baby? They don't. So we don't belong to the government. We don't belong to the government. We belong unto our Father. We belong to our Father. All right? We belong unto our Father. All right? So let's read it. Romans chapter 1 and verses 32. Okay. Okay. Romans 1 and 32 through 30. Yeah, 32. He said, they know that God's law said that people who live in this way deserve death. You understand? So it's very simple. We're reading from the Bible. Let me read it slowly. I'm going to read it slowly. Maybe you miss it. Let's read it again. This is the book of Romans chapter 1 and 32. It said, they know that God's law say that people who live in this way deserve death. Yet Not only do they continue to do this very thing, but they even approve of others who do that. So if you approve wickedness, the Mosai say he's going to kill you. God say he's going to kill you. Your honor. Who is your honor? God. You belong unto God. He can kill you at any time. He can hit you at any time. He doesn't need to call your mama, your papa. Oh, hey, can I? No, he doesn't need to. He's the mastermind. He's the boss. The only boss is the Most High. There's no other boss, man. The boss number one is the Most High. After the Most High, Mashiach, Christ. Point blank period. All right? So you got to keep in mind. A man, you need to go get a wife. You need to go find a female. And you a female, you need to go get a male, a husband. Stop being wicked. Repent. Repent, repent, repent. This is love. This is love. Love is to tell truth to your brother and your sister. Mashiach say, John chapter 8, 31 through 32. I'm just quoting. And ye shall know the truth. He said, ye that are very continuing in my word. Right? He said, ye shall know the truth. And the truth is going to set you free, make you free. So that you are no more a slave of sin. So that you are no more a slave of what? Sin. So you got to keep in mind, not just because you don't do it, but you condone it. You condone it. It's okay with you. Guess what? The Mosai said you deserve death too. Even though you are not doing it, you condone it. That means you are the what? Anti-Christ, anti-God. So the Mosai say you deserve also what? Death. So if you're a male, go get a wife, go get a female. And if you are a female, go get a male, go get a husband. Point blank period. No need to argue. Don't tell me we don't want to kill you. Were born like this, blah, blah, blah. No one is born like that. Satan jump on you. You got a bunch of demons freaking off with you. You got some legion of demons. They're freaking off with you in your mind. And you lusting after your own flesh. It's very simple, man. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's very simple. Right? You got to live a meek lifestyle. Don't follow the world. You got to be renewed of mind. You got to be born spiritually. Spiritually, you got to be born again. Do not just roll down with the world. Don't do it. All right. Okay. So he say, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defy thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down there to it is what confusion. Because this day you're gonna notice a lot of women, they're gonna have sex with dog. God said, you do that, I'm gonna kill you. Maybe not right now, but I'm gonna kill you. That's what God is telling you. Women having sex with dog, women having sex with donkey, they do all type of, listen, all type of look, man. They're freaking off. They got something they call it what? Bestiality, right? So what they do, they pay money, they go in the zoo, and they sleep with all type of animals. That's confusion, man. That's mad, right? That's why you see a lot of these women, they're so attached to dogs. It's not by coincidence, right? Because originally, right, he's a beast. He got to be in the backyard watching over the house, man. I was raised, growing up, like, The dog is in the backyard or in the front yard. He's in the house or watching, just, watching the house, man. Not in the living room, sleeping in the bedroom, right? Be in the couch and shedding hair all over the place, licking you on your tongue. No, man, that's dirty. That's abominable, huh? That's abominable. According to the scripture, you can't do that, man. It's a beast with beast. And men deal with what? Women. Men deal with women. And women deal with men. That's what the Most High said. That's what the Most High said. All right? So you can't have sex with your dog. Okay? You can't have sex with your dog, man. Your German Shepherd, blah, 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 your pit bull. If you do it, it's a sin, it's evil. Okay? God said don't do it. God said don't do it. Point blank, period. So that's why we tell brother, you got to be careful. All right? Don't follow people because you see your neighbors doing it. You see this guy doing that guy. No, don't do it. It's a deadly path. Don't do it. Do not do it. It's called is a no-no with capital N and capital O. Capital N and capital O. Don't do it. Don't do it, right? Don't do it. Right? It's deadly. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it, sister. Don't do it. Huh? So let's read it again. Because, like I say, the society, right? Democracy have normalized these things. Democracy, politics, they have normalized those things. I think it was a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago, you got WAPO. When I say WAPO, you got to understand, I'm talking about the Washington Post. The Washington Post is literally condoning, they're condoning what? Pedophilia. The Washington Post, they're condoning pedophilia. Yes, they're condoning like grown-up men sleeping and touching little boy. The Washington Post. That's why, brother and sister, you must be careful. And you got to know where you're bringing your son and your daughter to. You got to know where you're bringing your son and your daughter to. Don't trust these people in suit and tie. They're very vile and they're a bunch of righteous. Do not trust them. It doesn't matter what they tell you. You trust only in the Most High. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4 all the way down to 9. Trust only and uniquely in the Most High. So, brother and sister, you need to know where you bring in your son and your daughter to, so that they don't molest them. That grown-up man, that's no turn and do all type of lewdness with your son and your daughter. So you gotta know where you bring in your son and your daughter. You gotta know. Okay? They're condoning. They're promoting pedophilia. Washington Post. It was on the news. It was on the news last week or 2 weeks ago. All right? He said, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is what? Confusion. All right? So let's jump right here. We'll jump to verses 24. He reads, he said, defile not yourself in any of these things, for in all these the nation are defiled which are cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomit out her inhabitant. You see that? So the Most High said, you do that, you're gonna get destroyed, you're gonna get spewed, kicked out of the land. All right? Ye shall therefore keep my statute and my judgment, and shall not commit any of these things, any of this abomination, neither any of your own nation nor any stranger that sojourner among you. So that's what the Most High said, right? The Most High made it clear. There's nothing here that you say you don't understand. Everything is very simple and clear. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. The land is defiled. That the land spew not you out, right? Also, when you defile it, and it spew out the nation that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, man or woman, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep my ordinances, that ye commit not any of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourself therein. I am the Lord your Yahawah. See that? So there we go, man. These are some of the law that I want to address, right? I want to address verse 1 a little bit. And now I want to dive in a little bit, right? I want to dive in a little bit in the news, right? Get in the news. I want to check the news. What is going on? So brother and sister can be aware. There's a lot of going on, all right? Praise to the Most High. The brother just stopped by, and the brother, they just blow the horn. The brother, like I said, man, I'm standing here in this corner right here is already enough, man. But the scripture says that teacher should not be no more removed into the corner, but that I shall see and shall hear behind thee, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way. Right? All right. So as of right now, I'm on this website. It's called M. It's a EMSC, right? .eu, right? What they do, they monitor earthquake, things like that. That's what they do. So lately, 2 hours ago, there was a 3.1 earthquake in the Czech Republic. There 6 hours ago, there was a 4.3 earthquake in Chile, Mole, Chile, right? 10 hours ago, there was an earthquake of what? 3.8 magnitude, right? In Dodecanese Island, Turkey border, right? Turkey border region, right? There was an earthquake right there. 10 hours ago, there was an earthquake of what? Magnitude 3.5 in the Caucasus region near Russia, all right? 11 hours ago, there was a 4.0 earthquake in what? Italy, central Italy, right? There was an earthquake over there. There was also another earthquake in central Italy, right? Again, almost like 11 hours ago, there was a 5.5 earthquake in the Caucasus region, right? Russia, right? 3.4 earthquake 12 hours ago in what? Bio, Chile, right? You got a 2.5 magnitude earthquake in central Italy, and the list goes on and on and on. You have a 2.1 earthquake here in the state in North Carolina, 4.3 earthquake 15 hours ago in Indonesia. All right, so you can see, man, earthquake. Listen, these past like not even 24, you got so many earthquakes, man. Western Turkey, Syria, Taiwan. Yesterday they got 5.1 earthquake. Yesterday, Taiwan, they got 5.1 earthquake. Like this thing you don't hear on the news. Right? 5.1 earthquake yesterday in Taiwan. Right? So let me go to let's get I'm gonna get a couple news we're gonna deal with quick through the spirit of the Most High Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It's the end time, Matthew 24. So if the brother don't know, you're gonna hear of war, rumors of war, you know, earthquake. Let's go over there quick. Let me bring it up. Actually, let's go to, I think it's Isaiah. All right, let's go to Isaiah first. Let me see if I get what I'm looking for exactly. Isaiah 29. So let's go into that one. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29. Isaiah 29. Isaiah 29 and verse 6. It reads, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder, with what thunder?" All right, with thunder and with earthquakes. That's where all this earthquake, right? You take a look at it for the past 24 hours. For the past 24 hours, over 20 earthquakes, over 20 earthquakes in different regions. Different regions. All right. All right. He said, "And great noise with storm and tempest and the flame of the devouring fire." There we go. And the flame of the devouring fire. How you gonna understand? The Most High ain't playing no game. Right? Right? The Most High ain't playing no game, man. The Most High ain't playing no game. This is serious. Right? Most High ain't playing no game. The Most High ain't playing no game. There's a time of trouble right now. Right? So let's check what is going on. It says Russia and U.S. swap prisoners Victor Baha and Brittany Griner. Listen, you know, pervert, man, pervert of our people. I don't even want to read that article. It's weakness, man. And the Lord, unless she repent, the Lord bring judgment upon her, man. The Lord brings swift judgment upon her unless she repent, man. Say Merkel confession may be ground for a tribunal, Moscow, right? Let's go ahead. We're going to read this quick, right? So yesterday, the former chancellor of Germany, Angela Merkel, she exposed, she revealed it again. Like I said in the past video, some of the news that we went over, or I went over, that the mixed agreement, right? The last 2 months agreement, mainly the one that was brokered by France and Germany under, I'll say, is Francois Hollande and Chancellor Angela Merkel. That was what for NATO and Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America, right? To bypass time, to train Ukraine. To train Ukraine so Ukraine can use Ukraine to wage war against Russia. Now, Vladimir Putin himself, he acknowledged that he made some mistake. Last week, he said he made some mistake. He could have gone full-fledged. When they were taking fully Crimea, he would have done the same thing and take down Donbass and all those things back. He trusted in America. He trusted in Babylon the Great, the French, and the German. And he got deceived. That's what the Mosai said. Woe to them that trust in man. That make his flesh, or that make his flesh up. The Mosai said you can't do that, man. The Mosai said, don't do it. All right. So Angela Merkel yesterday, he has an interview, and during that interview, what did she say? She said, well, it is true that the mixed agreement that was brokered by Germany and France, actually, it was just to buy time and allow the NATO to train Ukraine so they'll be ready to wage war against Russia. To wage war against Russia. Right? To wage war against Russia. So let's read this article. Now, the Russian, since yesterday or this morning, they've been reacting to it. All right? So let's read this. It says Merkel's confession may be grounds for tribunal. Moscow, right? He said the former chancellor, right, Angela Merkel, the former chancellor of Germany, right, gave evidence that the West has orchestrated hostility in Ukraine. The Russian foreign ministry said, right? A confession by former German Chancellor Angela Merkel about the mixed peace agreement could be used as evidence in a tribunal involving Western politicians responsible for provoking the war conflict between Moscow and Kiev. The Russian foreign ministry warned on Thursday. So today's Thursday. So the Russian government, they say, well, we're going to use it to sue you at the court. I don't know which court. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's up to them, right? He said the deal brokered by Germany and France, like I said, right, was supposed to be a roadmap for peace in the war-torn country. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that his country's current military offensive was prompted by the failure to implement the terms of the accord. The former German leader admitted in an interview with Die Zeit on yesterday, that the actual purpose of the mixed agreement was to give Ukraine time to prepare for a military confrontation with Russia. There we go, bingo. Bingo, there we go. There we go. But you gotta understand, you know why all this happened to our people, so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian? The reason why this happened, the Mosai is setting up the stage because of us, because of the Israel. All right? The Mosai is setting up the stage for the return of Yahawashi. So it's all good, brother. It's all good, sister. Through the spirit of the Mosai, YAHAWAH, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Right? You gotta keep in mind, it's decent, huh? It's decent. This thing happening is for the salvation of Israel. All this that are happening is for the salvation of the Israelites, the salvation of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. Yes, all this is happening because of us. All this, you see, the hell breaking loose is for the salvation of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. That's all. That's why we exhort brother and sister to take heed unto the voice of the Most High. We nothing. Us, we nothing. We nothing. Right? But take heed unto the Most High. Take heed unto the Lord and keep his command. Fear the Lord and keep his command. All right? So let's read it. He said the former German leader, right? The former German leader all right? He said the former German leader admitted in an interview with Die Zeit on yesterday, that the actual purpose of the mixed agreement was to give Ukraine time to prepare for a military confrontation with Russia. They talk a lot about legal assessment of what is happening around Ukraine, certain tribunals, and so on in all sorts of ways. Spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said during a media briefing on Thursday. But this is a specific reason for a tribunal. She claimed that Merkel's comments were nothing short of the testimony of the person who had openly admitted that everything done between 2014 and 2015 was meant to distract the international community from real issues, play for time, pump up the Kiev regime with weapons, and escalate the issue into a large-scale conflict, Zharakova added. And that's what happened. That's what America wants. America is the problem. A lot of you don't want to hear this, right? But let me tell you. The number one issue on the face of the earth is Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America. The one that is creating trouble everywhere is the United States of America, the Babylonian. They just overthrew the Peruvian president yesterday and arrest him. And guess who is behind that? The United States of America. If there be any coup d'etat anywhere, a president be kicked out, guess who is behind it? The United States of America, they have hand it. You can't overthrow a government unless the United States of America is aware. Eh? They're the one that play all those games. Yesterday, they just overthrew the president of Peru. And make no mistake, Peru, Bolivia, the USA have been longing for so long to take over those two countries. You know why? Because Peru has a lot of natural gas. Does it ring a bell now? Peru and Bolivia. Peru and Bolivia are rich in natural gas. The natural gas which the United States of America is selling right now to the European Union. It's called the LNG or LNG, the liquefied natural gas. And Bolivia and Peru are a hot war harbor spot for the natural gas. So the USA want to make sure they set up a puppet over there, a puppet that will allow them to do their weakness. America is finished, right? The beast is over, man. This is the end time for Esau Edom. The main reason why you see conflict all over the world is because of the United States of America. You cannot shed innocent blood and tell me about peace. There can be no peace. If you're killing innocent, you murder innocent people, people that have done no wrong to you. The people are in their land. You go over the people's land and you start dropping bombs, you start bringing chaos, and you turn brother against brother, sister against sister. No, man. And who is doing all those things? The beast, the fourth beast, Esau, Edom, Idubim, Bozrah, the Chaldean, huh? Bunch of what? Sorcerers, bunch of witches and warlocks. The number one threat to the world today is the United States of America. The number one threat. They got a nose everywhere. They don't keep it home. Their home is a Mount Say. Their homeland is a Mount Say. The homeland of Esau Edom is not Europe. It's not Italy. It's not France. It's not Germany. The homeland, the home of the house of Esau Edom is in Petra, Bozrah, Mount Say, in the mountain of Say. But they won't keep it home. They won't keep it home. They're the trouble. So they just overthrow the Peruvian president. They've been doing for the past, I would say, 15 years, almost maybe 20 years, to overthrow Hugo Chavez. Then they kill Hugo Chavez. Then Maduro take over. They've been doing everything to overthrow Maduro. Why? Because Venezuela is the richest country in oil today. You got to understand, brother. Let me go right here. I got two precepts in mind. I got two precepts in mind. Let me go bring this precept out. I got two precepts in mind. Lord willing, let's see. I got to bring out Revelation 11. Let me see if that's what I want. Let's read it, all right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verses 18. And the nation were angry, right? And the wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servant, the prophet, unto the saint, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Do you understand that? Maybe you forgot about what I just read. Let's read it again. Revelation chapter 11 and 18. Revelation 11 and 18. Revelation 11 and 18. Let's read. And the nation were angry, and the wrath is come, and the time of the dead, right? And the time of the dead, right? And the time of the dead, keep in mind. Right? And the time of the dead, that they should be judged. And thou shouldest give reward unto thy servant, the prophet, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Now, who destroyed the earth? Esau, Edom. He destroyed the earth with what? The religion that he created through his father Satan. How did Esau destroy the earth? He destroyed the earth by his wine. The wine we're talking about here, we ain't talking about the wine that you buy in your store. We're talking about what? The lie, the propaganda, right? All the deception that they push for. When you turn on your TV, all the lie that you see, that's the wine we're talking about right here. We're speaking in the spirit, right? They destroyed the earth. They're the one that are killing, cut off everything down. They poison the fish. They genetically modify everything. Seedless cucumber, seedless watermelon. They kill off all the fish. They kill off all the deer, destroy the habitation of the deer, the buffalo, right? They kill an estimate of over 100 million native Indian, so-called native Indian. Kill over 90 million of the so-called black. Cast them into the Atlantic Ocean, and the list goes on and on and on. They drop bombs on the Vietnamese, the orange gas on the Vietnamese, the bomb Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and Japan. They destroy Gaddafi, they kill Gaddafi, destroy Libya, NATO with their so-called no-fly zone. They went to Iraq and destroyed Iraq. They went and conquered the whole world. Huh? So the Mosai said he's going to destroy them. He's going to destroy them. The Mosai said he's going to destroy them because they have destroyed the earth. They have polluted the earth. They have totally polluted the earth with lies. They brainwash little children. They brainwash and deceive little children through democracy, their religion, the politics, the agenda. That's what they've done. Right? They destroy the earth. Right? They destroy the earth. Esau, Edom, Idumea, playing God. Right? Let's go right here. I got another verse in my head. I got another one in my head. Right? And I want to show you. And it's in chapter 16. right? It's in chapter 16, right? This is the book of Revelation. Let me see the verses I want. All right. It's about the beast, man. Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom. All right? Because the kingdom of Esau, Edom is full of war. Darkness, man. Don't you see the fall of Babylon the Great? Don't you see everything happening? Are you so naive, so blind? Are you so busy watching? I don't know what you're watching. But brother and sister, this time is not to slum. This is the time that you got to be on top of what's going on. Huh? All hell about to break loose. Huh? All hell about to break loose. Huh? All hell about to break loose. All hell about to break loose. Right? The beast is about to be cut off. Who is that beast? Esau, Edom, Idumea. The beast that seduce and destroy the whole earth is Esau. You don't have to go further to find out, to figure it out. No. It's Esau. Esau, Edom. And let's read what the Most High has for the beast. What does the Most High have for the beast? His kingdom is full of darkness. That's why they can't put it together. That's why all the kingdoms falling. That's why you see what bread, sex, seed. Then you see they're going through whatever they're going through now. Guess what? It's a fourth beast because his end is nigh. The end of the fourth beast is nigh. Let's go right here. Let's go to the classical one, man. Let's go to the classical. It's the Most High moving the spirit, huh? It's about to be time. Let's go to 2nd Ezra. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verses 8 through 9. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, Esau, understand that? That's the fourth beast that Daniel saw in the vision. When you go in the book of Daniel chapter 2, then you jump to Daniel chapter 7, guess what? The fourth beast is what Esau, Edom, the kingdom of the Edomite. They're the one that run the whole earth today. They run Europe, they run Africa, they run Asia, everywhere, man. They run the whole world. Man. Esau, Edom, that's how God called them. God did not call them Caucasian. God did not call them white people. God did not call them a European. No, God called them Esau, Edom, point blank period. That's the biblical name. And it needs to be corrected. Right? So he's the end, man. He's the end of Esau, Edom kingdom. Right? His kingdom right now is full of darkness. His kingdom has always been full of darkness. Because if the kingdom of Esau, Edom is not full of darkness, then you got to ask yourself, why did they slay? Why did they kill the so-called Native Indian? Why did they exterminate the so-called Native Indian and stole the land? And later, a couple of years later on, they say, yeah, our country. Do you understand that? He said, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau, Edom, is the end of the world. You understand? Why? Because his kingdom is full of darkness, evil. There's no righteousness in the kingdom of Esau, Edom. They're not. If it's not for the Most High, Esau will kill everybody off. You don't know that? If it's not for the Most High, Esau, Edom, he will have killed off everybody from the face of the earth. Listen, I'm telling you, if it's not for the Most High that have been for us, we should have been as well. Sodom and Gomorrah. It said, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. So let's go back right here. Right? Let's read this. This is the book of Revelation, right? Let's get it. Revelation chapter 16 and verses 10. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, upon the seat of Esau Edom. Let's give some hand to the Most High. Let's give some hand to the Most High. Man. We give some hand to the Most High. It's the Most High doing the work, man. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast. Which beast? The fourth beast, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Right? He said, and his kingdom was full of darkness. That's all they do is the war. That's what you gotta remember. When they talk about war, the Renaissance period don't believe that. They never came back to life. No, their kingdom seemed full of darkness. The Renaissance period, guess what they were doing? What did they do? That's the time that they start killing the native Indian. So the kingdom is full of what? Darkness, evil, point blank period. Let's read it. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, right? Anywhere he dwelt, France, Germany, Canada, Australia, Iceland, New Zealand, America, the Caribbean, Africa, South Africa, you name it, America, anywhere that they rule. Right? And his kingdom was full of darkness. They finished the kingdom of Esau. It's over, man. And they young the tongues for pain. For what? So they're about to young the tongue for pain soon. It's about to go down soon. It's about to go down. Because we can see the nation they're raging right now. The nation they're mad. Mainly at war. America, Babylon the Great. Listen, man, you know who is the king? Christ, Yahawashi Mashiach, man. Who is the king is Yahawashi Mashiach, man. All we got to do is to keep the command and down until the end, man. All we got to do is to obey the voice of the Most High. Keep the command, man. All hell about to break loose, man. You see what happened yesterday? So you got this hidden called Xi Jinping, right? Who is the king of the Chinese, or the puppet of the Chinese. Okay, you got make no mistake, man. China is down with the New World Order, even though he be making them make it sound like that. No, man. China, they're down with the New World Order. You gotta understand. Asia in block, they're down with the New World Order. Russia cannot try to set it up a different way, but whether it be what the new order or the how do the Russian call it? The Russian they call it multipolar order. Whether it be a multipolar order or the New World Order by the hegemony of the United States of America, the Lord will crush both of them. Both of them shall come to naught. And that brings me to this precept, right? And that brings me to this precept. Both of it shall come to naught. Whether it be the New World Order run by Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America, or whether it be what the New World, a new polar world run by Russia and Nigeria and Ghana, whatever you name it, the Lord bring it to naught. How do I know? Let's go in the book of Psalm chapter 2. It doesn't matter. Because right now, they're just raging, man. The heathen, they're just raging, man. Let's read it. This is the book of Psalm. Psalm chapter 2 and verses 1. Why do the heathen rage, man? So why is Esau America raging, man? Why is the France, Germany? Why is NATO raging? Why is Russia, Ukraine, and the list goes on and on? No, Poland. Why they are raging? Let's read it. Psalm chapter 2 and verses 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? So all these so-called multipolar world where there'll be everybody will be able to chip in to do this and that. Guess what? We don't want that, man. We want the kingdom. With who? Yahawashi Mashiach. Whether it be what? The New World Order run by America, aka the United Snake of America, or whether it be what? The multipolar world that will be run by China, Saudi Arabia, whatever. Guess what? We don't want it, man. The Lord bring all those agenda to naught. Whether it be your new this, your new, listen, the Mosai confound every one of it, every one of you, as the Mosai confound who? Nimrod at the Tower of Babel. The Lord confound you. We need, listen, we need a Mashiach. Huh? All right, so let's read it. Why do the heathen rage? So why you're raging? And you're raging against the Lord. Huh? You're raging against the Most High, as if you can do something. You can't do anything, Esau. The Chinese can't do anything. The Arabs, they can't do anything. You can't do anything unless the Most High allow you to do. Huh? He said, the kings of the earth serve themselves, and the ruler take counsel. The rulers and the ruler take counsel together against the Lord, against the Most High, and against his anointed, saying, let us break the band asunder and cast away the cord from us. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them his wrath. So the Messiah is about to show Esau, because Esau's kingdom is full of what? Darkness right now. That's why the Russian fighting them, the so-called Chinese, the so-called Arab. You see what happened yesterday? So remember, a month or almost 2 months ago, ice cream eater, sleepy ice cream eater Joe Laden or Jumaken or Jumaba Laden or Madden, he went to Saudi Arabia. Remember, he ran his mouth during the campaign. During the campaign, he ran his mouth, and you look on his face, the demon showed up. The demon showed on his face, and he said, well, I'm going to be hard on Saudi Arabia, and I'm going to make them a pariah state. I'm going to deal with them. Why is he saying that? Because this puppet journalist that was killed, all right? Khashoggi, he was a journalist for the WAPO, the Washington Post, or whatever he was. So he was killed at the embassy in Turkey, right? While his wife was sitting in the car waiting for him to come out for 8 hours. I think 8 to 12 hours, something like that. He was butchered, he was chopped into, he was put to death. Right? And according to the report, that was ordered from what? The prince of Saudi Arabia. All right? So Jomaba or Joe Biden Obama, during the campaign trail, he ran his mouth to seduce, the denizen. He seduced the denizen. Yeah, I'm going to make Saudi Arabia a pariah state, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this. Okay. And they waited for him. The Ishmaelite, right? AKA the Arabs. They wait for him. They say, okay, we know you need our oil. And let's see what's going to happen. So, when he went to Saudi Arabia like a month or 2 months ago, he got confounded. He was not received well. The Saudi that gave him a blow. They gave him a blow. But during the campaign, he said, well, I'm going to make Saudi Arabia a pariah state. But he can't do it. He can't do it. Because the Saudi, they got the oil, right? The Saudi, they got the oil. So, and they need the oil. Because without the Saudi Arabia, they won't be able to function, right? So he cannot get caught. Like the Saudi, they said, no, we ain't doing it. Right? Based on all your running your mouth, all these things that you said. Right? So he was kind of pretty much, chopped over there. The Saudis say, we ain't got no deal for you. However, yesterday, Xi Jinping, the king of the Chinese, he went into Saudi Arabia. Guess what? Literally, I'm telling you, they flew for Xi Jinping warplane to welcome him. Saudi Arabia, they done that yesterday. And that's a sign, because they didn't fly any warplane for the US president. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. Or maybe they've done it that it was in the darkness I didn't see. But they did not fly any warplane for Joe Maba, Joe Obama, or Joe Maba, Joe Biden, Obama. They didn't fly no warplane for him. That's a sign that you can see to understand that, guess what? America is falling slowly. It's falling. The United States of America is falling. That's a big, listen, that was a big blow yesterday. Because when he went over there in Saudi Arabia, he was deceived. The Saudi that deceived him, they said, we wait for him, let him come over here. Let him come over here. He's running his mouth. Okay, let him come over here. And he went over there. The Saudi, they chopped him. Right? And then when the Chinese president went over there, guess what the Saudi did? Yesterday, the Saudi, they fly the warplane for Xi Jinping, right? To show what? A strong relation, what they want to do. And that's why you see Saudi Arabia is moving toward the BRICS. That's why Saudi Arabia is moving toward Russia and China mostly now. Because they understand. These Arabs, they don't understand that what? That the power is about to be taken out of the hand of Esau. They don't understand. They know that his kingdom is full of darkness. They're just raging right now. Right now, he's just raging. Because the fifth angel poured out his fire, and you see, all you see throughout the falcon of this earth from Esau is just darkness. So again, yesterday, the Ishmaelite or the Saudi or the Arabs, they demonstrate to the American that no more you. We don't want you. They say enough of your prostitution. They say enough of your prostitution. They say it's enough. We got someone we can deal with, the Chinese. So they fly the warplane for Xi Jinping. They didn't fly the warplane for Joe Maba or Joe whatever, Joe Laden, ice cream eater, sleepy Joe. No, man. They didn't do that. Right? He said, and that's what happened. So right now, all these hidden, they're getting mad. The hidden getting mad. They're getting tired. They're fed up. And it's going to grow. It's going to get worse in the coming days. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. What you're going to see the next is going to be the NATO member, the EU member, or the NATO member. They're going to turn against America. Oh boy, that would be a beautiful day, baby. That would be a beautiful day. Because the Bible prophecy, the 7 head or the 7 horn, the 10 head, they're going to turn up on the hall. And they're going to eat her flesh. That's what we're about to witness. Lord willing. Lord willing. Lord willing. If it be the will of the Most High, we're about to witness it. Huh? How they're going to take down the hall. The hall that seduce and destroy and bring chaos throughout the fucking of this earth. Right? So it's a lot going on. He said, she said, Merkel's statement horrifyingly revealed that the West uses forgery, yeah, which is witchcraft. Witchcraft. They conspire. That's what we call conspiracy. Now they're going to sit down and call me. They're going to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? Now, but right here, when you forge something, that make you a conspirator. You conspiring against 1, 2, or 3 or more people. You conspiring, you forging something, right? As well as a method of action and resort to machinations, manipulation, and all kind of distortion of truth, law, and right imaginable. There we go. The spokeswoman claimed that the West had known well in 2015 when it spent hours negotiating the second part of the Minsk Accord, that it will never even attempt to fulfill any part of the agreement and will instead pump weapons into Kiev. They did not feel sorry for anyone, women, children, the civilian population of Donbass, or the whole of Ukraine. They needed a conflict and they were ready for it back then in 2015. There we go. Because the kingdom is full of darkness. The kingdom of Edom is full of darkness. Earlier this month, a number of Western officials called for the creation of the special UN-backed court to investigate alleged war crime committed by Russia during its ongoing military campaign in Ukraine. The Kremlin has said the West has no legal or moral right to set up any court to investigate or prosecute Russia over the conflict, which Moscow claims was ultimately provoked by the US and its allies. There we go, man. There we go, baby. There we go. Right? There we go. There we go again. The beast, the fourth beast, with what? Seven heads and 10 horns, and the little horn that pop up among the other one. That little horn is the United Snake of America, right? Babylon the Great, the hegemon of the whole world right now. That's the prostitute. That's the prostitute of the whole world is Babylon the Great, the United Snake of America. All right? All right? There's a lot of growing on, man. It's a Kremlin, right? There we go. I'm telling you, man. That's what they want, man. We'll touch on a couple of this article, right? So you can have an idea what is going on. It's a Kremlin promises to liberate territory held by Ukraine. So the Russians say, well, we're going to liberate this territory. We'll liberate it. All right? Right? It's a Russian troop will eventually liberate part of the former Ukrainian region that joined Russia in October, but which remain under Kiev's military control. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has told journalists. All right, so they say we're going to take it back. How they're going to do it? Hey, the Mosai give them the might to do it. Right? You can't do anything unless the Mosai allow you. Right? It's a dozen. This is today. It's happening today. Today, December 8th. December 8th. It's a dozen of foreign mercenaries killed in Ukraine, Russia. Military officials also claim the Air Force destroyed several MLRS and two HIMARS multiple launch system in one day, just today. Just today, the Russians, they say they destroyed several MLRS and two HIMARS. Those are American weapons, right? Machine gun. Russia, right? Russia has claimed that its military has destroyed a number of high-value targets with high precision strike in Ukraine, including killing 90 Polish mercenaries just one day. Just today, the Russians, they killed 90 Polish, because this is what's happened. So America, right? Because the United States of America, Babylon the Great, with his ally, what they're doing is this. So they have a deal with Poland. So Poland wants to take some of this territory, all right? Whatever Ukrainian territory that is near to Poland, so Poland wants to take those territory back. So that's why Poland promised to send its military into war, into Ukraine. So how do they go? They give them Ukrainian military uniform. These are Poles. These are Poles, literally Poles. So then they're going and they give them the Ukrainian military uniform. So they put it on. But the Russian, they got all these drones that they're flying. They got all these is a satellite system that collect, you know, a conversation, right? While they're speaking. So all these people here are just Polish. They're just speaking Polish. They're just speaking Polish, right? So the Russian be killing them. I believe so far the Russian killed over 500 Poles. I believe it's more than that. Because I remember a week or 2 weeks ago, in one day, they killed up to like 200 Poles. Just in one day, they killed up to 200 Poles. I read that on World News 24/7, right? But as of today, Thursday, the Russians say right here, Russia has claimed that its military has destroyed a number of high-value targets with high precision strike in Ukraine, including killing 90 Polish mercenaries in just one day. Right? Because imagine, if listen, if Poland has nothing to gain, why would they be sending the poor civilian to go die in the front line? Why? And according to the expert, right? When you listen to the expert in war, right? Like a Scott Reader, and I can't even remember all of them, right? When you listen to them, they let you know that the Poles, the Polish army are not trained. They don't know anything about war, but they want to host the bomb. They want all the bomb, the nuclear bomb, everything to come to the country. Because they're freaked. They're just freaking out, man. They're just freaking out. So 90 just got, the Russian just, listen, the Russian just dealing them a blow through the spirit of the Most High, YAHAWAH, Bahasham, Yahawashi, man. On Thursday, the Defense Ministry Telegram channel published a tally of latest estimate. According to the post, as a result of high-precision Russian Air Force strikes in Zaporizhia region, five U.S.-made MLRS and German-made Mars-2 multiple launch rocket systems were hit. On top of that, in the Donetsk People Republic, 2 U.S.-made HIMARS units were destroyed, the ministry added. Elsewhere along the front line, the Ukrainian military is said to have lost more than 200 personnel just today. Just today, Thursday. The Russians killed 90 Poles and 200 Ukrainians. Just think about it. They want war. They don't want peace. America told them, yeah, go to the war. Few days ago, I think it was on Monday, the United, I think between Sunday and Monday, they just dispatched over 700 armored vehicles to Poland and Romania. The United States of America. Do these people want peace? They don't want peace. They're wicked. Huh? They don't want peace. So the Russians say elsewhere along the front line, the Ukrainian military is said to have lost more than 200 personnel, a helicopter, and multiple vehicles. Say the Russians get destroyed. The Russians get destroyed. The Russians get destroyed over and over, over and over. The U.S. shipped the first HIMARS M142 unit to Ukraine in June, followed by several more in the following month. A number of MLRS M270 systems, which are the truck-based cousin of the HIMARS, have also been provided to Kiev. Germany, you see, they don't want peace. Germany has supplied MAS 2 system, which is a clone of the MLRS as well. According to the Ukrainian official, the weapons will have a longer range and higher precision than similar Soviet-made systems, have enabled the country military to hit Russian targets deep behind the front line, including ammunition and fuel depot, as well as bridges. In late August, Ukraine Defense Ministry said it had more than 2 units of HIMARS, MLRS, and MAS. 4 more HIMARS units arrived in the country in October, official in Kiev revealed. So you can see. No. So let's check it out. He said the U.S. want the Ukraine conflict to last until at least 2025, Russia, right? That's how long they want the war to continue, right? That's how long they want the war to continue, right? That's how much they want. U.S. armed procurement documents show that Washington intends to fuel the conflict in Ukraine for at least 3 more years. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova have insisted. That is today, man. She added that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky should take notice of it when assessing the future of his country. Washington plans to fuel hostility in Ukraine at least till the end of 2025. That's what the plans are, judging by documents, which they don't hide from anybody. The Russian diplomat told journalists during a briefing on Thursday. There we go, man. They want the war, man. That's what they want, man. All they want is war, man. All America want is war. And you telling me that this country, they fear God? Really? America fear God? Are you sure? Are you sure that America is a God-fearing country? Come on, man. Come on, man. Really? If it's a God-fearing country, why is the whole mainstream media? Why are you attacking Kanye West and Kyrie Irving? Why? Why? Go in the book, man. Go in the Bible and prove it. Don't just attack, just to attack. Go in the Bible and prove it that Kyrie Irving is wrong. Kyrie, that he's wrong. And that Kanye West, they're wrong. Prove it. Huh? You can't prove in the Bible. But by your propaganda machine, right? By all your forgeries, your conspiracy, all your machination. That's how you come up and you try and deceive everybody. But guess what? The Lord confound you, Esau. The Lord confound you, Esau. It's about the time, man. It's just a matter of time, then the Most High will take you down, man. It's just a matter of time, and the Most High will take you down, Esau. All we say are people to repent and keep the commandment. The fourth beast, Esau, Edom, Idumea, is about to be crushed. And there won't be no coming back. There won't be no coming back. There won't be no coming back. That's of the Most High, man. He shall not rise up again. All right? All right, let me see this one right here. Oh, I mean, all her just breaking loose, man. All her just breaking loose. I think the Russian that repelled drone attack on key Crimea port. Right, there's some drone attack again by, you already know, who, but they were able to repel it through the spirit of the Most High. So all hell breaking loose, man. Right? 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 Let me see if I can check one more outlet quick, and then we're gonna close it out. All right? Let me go right here. Let's go right here. I want to check on smart news so we see what is happening. Smart news. All right, we're gonna go to smart news. Actually, go to smart news. All right. Let's see what has happened. All right, smart news. I like to click on the one that's worldwide. Right. As I already told you, that wretch is being swapped. So, you know, she should be heading home. Lord. Let's see what is going on. It said Iran holds first execution of an anti-government protest. Right? I think they execute somebody in Iran. Only the most I know, because it's a lot of propaganda, it's a lot of lies that be put out there. It's a German prince. It's a German prince arrested for coup plot with 24 others. Because we saw on the news yesterday, they said there's some group of German, they're trying to overthrow some government. I mean, the government in Germany, they're trying to do something. Right? I mean, all hell breaking loose, man. That's what the scripture say. All hell is going to break loose, man. Right? We can read from my Mashiach, right? But let me go right here to Song of Ezra. I want to get it from Song of Ezra, right? Let's go right here quick. There is a book of Song of Ezra, right? You got to keep in mind. This is what the Most High says is going to go down, all right? All right? That's what the Most High says. And it's happening as the Most High says, right? All right? Let's read it. This is the book of 2 Ezra chapter 15, right? And verse 14. It says, war to the world. War to who? The world, man. War to Africa, Asia, the Caribbean, Europe, America, Babylon the Great, and the list goes on and on and on, man. Right? Woe to the whole world. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Who dwell in the world? Men and beasts. Men dwell on the earth. Right? In the world, men and women. Right? For the sword means what? Death, destruction. For the sword and the destruction draw nigh. What draw nigh? The destruction of men and women on the face of earth. And one people shall stand up to fight against another. A sword in the hand, gun in the hand, gun in the hand, drone, weapon, MLRS, HIMARS, drone, and the list goes on and on and on. Huh? For there shall be sedition among men, and that's what is that. That's why yesterday there was this. That's what they say. We don't know if it's true, but I saw on the news yesterday, on the mainstream media, yesterday, they showed that they arrested some 24, some group of people in Germany because they were plotting, they were conspiring to overthrow some German officials, something like that. All right? And this being done by the same so-called German. There's no, I'll say, outsider or foreigner among them, right? Most of them are supposedly German. So that's what we're reading right here. That's what we're reading right here, right? All hell breaking loose, man. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes. They won't care about who is the leader, who is the president, who is the king, who is it. They won't care about it. They're just gonna go ahead and do the wickedness they need to do. Huh? That's what we read. That's the timing right now, brother. That's why only trust in the Most High. That's it. Trust only in God. Point blank period. That's it. Don't waste your time. Right? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard the kings nor princes. And the cause of the action shall stand in the power. You see that? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So when all hell break loose, guess what? You won't be able to leave your house, man. When all hell break loose, whether you live in Babylon the Great, whether you live in Europe, whether you live in Africa, you won't be able to leave your house, man. You won't be able to leave your house. Imagine that, man. All hell is going to break loose, right? And that's what the Lord said when you go in the book of War. It's real, we got like, whoa. I'm going to do 6 or 7 minutes more. Let's go right here quick in the book of Luke. Right? Go in the book of Luke chapter 21. All right? And we're going to read the same thing. Hamashiach said the same thing. Let's go into it. This is the book of Luke chapter 21. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 7. Teacher, they ask, when will this be? And what will happen? And what will happen? I keep in mind. And what will happen? So Hamashiach is about, Hamashiach was warning us about the trouble and the persecution we're going to go through as a nation. That Jerusalem is going through, is going to go through. Let's really say, and what will happen in order to show that the time has come for it to take place? Yahawashi said, watch out, don't be fooled. You see that? Let no man seduce you. Don't let the Democrat and the Republicans seduce you. Don't let Hollywood, don't let the mainstream media deceive you. No. Don't believe it. Don't worship politics. And do not worship or follow religion. Don't do it. But stick onto the word, the truth, the law, the command. Yahawashi Mashiach. Huh? Right? He said, Yahawashi said, watch out. Don't be fooled. Many men claiming to speak for me. Many men claiming to speak for who? For Mashiach. Who is he talking about? Christian. He's talking about Christian. They said they came in the name of Christ. They said they're speaking for Christ and they deceived the whole world. They never told us we got to keep the commandment. They never told us we got to keep the Shabbat. They never told us we can't eat no pork. We can't eat no shrimp. No, we can't eat no crab. They never told us. They say, yeah, we are good. Oh, we are good. We are good. That's what they say. Right? Who speak mostly for Hamashiach for Christ? The Christian. That's why they call themselves Christian. That means they represent Christ. It means they're speaking for Christ. The Christ said, no, don't believe it. They're lying. He said, well, many men now claiming to speak for me will come and say, I am he. And the time has come, right? And the time has come. But don't follow them. What did Hamashiach say? Say, don't follow them. Do not follow Christianity. Do not follow Islam. Don't follow them. But follow the truth. Follow the law, the commandment of the Most High. Follow Hamashiach. You must do everything that Christ did. Follow what Christ did. That's what you got to follow. Don't follow me. Don't follow men. You follow God through who? Christ. You follow God through Christ. Don't follow me. I am nobody. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. All right? Follow the Most High through Christ. Follow Christ. All right? I said it over and over. All right? Don't be afraid when you hear of wars. What are we hearing right now? The war is already going on. But we hearing war. The war is already going. NATO versus war, Russia. Okay, and the list goes on and on. All right? You got other war going on, right? That you don't hear of. He said, don't be afraid when you hear of war and revolution, right? Which is commotion. Revolution, commotion, same thing, man. Right? He said, such thing must happen first, but they do not mean that the end is near. There we go. You see that? He said, he went on to say, country will fight each other. What did he say? Country will fight each other. Germany against USA, USA against Germany, Russia against US, US against Russia. That is in the Bible. It's in the Bible. China against India, India against China, North Korea against South Korea, South Korea against North Korea, North Korea against Japan, Japan against North Korea, and the list goes on and on and on. China against Taiwan, Taiwan against China. Is the Bible prophecy. Is Bible prophecy. He said, he went on to say, country will fight each other, kingdom will attack one another. There will be terrible earthquakes. There will be terrible earthquakes. That's why you're hearing earthquake from the four corners of this earth. And lately, for the past 2 weeks or a month, this past month, there have been a lot of active volcanoes. There have been a lot of active volcanoes. A lot of active volcanoes. You have not been keeping up with that, brother. We invite you to make sure that you're checking out what is literally happening so you can be on top of the prophecy, what is happening. So you can know what time we're in right now. So you can understand what time we're in right now. All right? We're almost about to finish. And there will be terrible earthquakes, famines, and plagues everywhere. Plague, disease everywhere. You already know. There's disease all over the place. That's what the Most High said. You know what time we're in right now. You already know, man. And plagues everywhere. There will be strange and terrifying things coming from the sky. There we go, man. See, that's the time we're in right now, brother and sister. That is a high season. It's a high time that your so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian prepare to seek the Most High, man. I start this broadcasting with war, touching on the law, the main thing, the meat, the foundation of life. The foundation of life is the law. So, brother and sister, take heed, eh? Take heed unto the word of the Most High. Believe in the Most High and keep his command. All right? Believe in the Most High and keep his command. All right? Believe in the Most High and keep his command. All right? He said, female protester in Iran shot in faces, breasts, and genitals. Medics say. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I'm reading from Smart News, right? And this is from what? The New York Post. That's the mainstream. You already know from New York Post. Snow warnings as UK cold snap prompt fear of winter energy crisis. They say snow warning as UK. So they might be they're about to see a very deadly winter throughout the whole world. Not only, don't think it's only in Europe. There will be a deadly winter in America. Be ready for it. There will be a deadly winter in America. Be ready, man. So now this is for UK. Snow warning as UK cold snap prompt fears of winter energy crisis. They're about to get smacked. All right? All right, let's read this. It says Saudi Arabia signed Huawei deal, deepening China tie on sea visit. There we go, man. I believe, according to the spokeswoman, right, of the foreign affairs of China, they're over. No, I know. Actually, it's like it. According to the S advisor, right? According to the S advisor of what? Of the prince of Saudi Arabia, there will be over 20 deals that will be signed between China and Saudi Arabia. 20 deals. So the Huawei deal is one of them, right? And remember, Huawei has been banned from the United States of America since the time of DJ Trump, right? Now the Saudi, they open up the arm onto China to come in with Huawei. So keep in mind, all right? He said Iran holds the first execution over anti-government protests, right? He said US seeks, the United States of America seeks more information on Rawchaa report over Nigerian military secret. There we go. It's a national defense to pro-pass contract awarded to firm now tied to China. You see that? So y'all understand me? All hell breaking loose, man. Right? All hell breaking loose, man. Let's read it. He said, alleged fraudster Melissa Kadik luxury good sell for $860,000 at auction, right? All right. She's a fraudster. She's a scammer. And there's a lot of them. It's a woman. There's a lot of them out there, man. Men and women. All they do is steal personal information, do all type of lewdness, weakness, and the Lord catch them. The Lord confound them, right? This is the one I was talking about, right? This is from Fox News, right? This is from Fox News. It said Peru boat president over attempt to dissolve Congress. New leader sworn in. There we go. Peru Congress on Wednesday voted to remove President Pedro Castillo after he attempted to dissolve the legislative body following the third attempt to remove him from office. And I already told you, the U.S. is behind it, okay? The United States of America is behind, all right? So there we go, man. All hell breaking loose. All right? So all hell breaking loose, brother and sister. I don't want to hold you too long, as you already know, man. Stay in the spirit, right? Stay in the spirit. We're about to get into the Shabbat, in the Shabbat tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the Shabbat. So, brother, stay in the spirit. Make sure you keep in the commandment. You got to start preparing for the Shabbat. You don't wait for the last minute, start running back and forth. You got to start preparing for the Shabbat from right now. so that you don't get caught up, you don't get behind, right? Remember the Shabbat day of the Most High to keep it holy, right? And Lord willing, in the coming day, we're going to address more law, right? We're going to address more law. Since you can see the pagan spirit is all over the place. The pagan and satanic spirit is all over the store, all over the place right now. So we got to stay up with the commandment, the law of the Most High, to warn our people so that they do not fall into the trap of the wicked, right? Because that wicked one just setting up things to deceive you, all right? So with that, we're going to close it out, and we give our praises, glory, honor, power, be unto the Most High, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, Aman, HallalYAH, Qam Yasharhalah, Qam Yasharhalah, Qam Yasharhalah. All right, we say thanks to all the brothers and the sisters that are tuning, that watch the video live. Those that are tuning later on, we appreciate you. Please subscribe, hit the bottom, the like button to help us drive the algorithm. You know, our video is being put into the corner, right? Our video being put into the corner. All right, brothers and sisters, so help us subscribe and share this with your loved one. Please, through the spirit of the Most High, stay in the spirit. We love you. We keep you in our prayer, and you do the same. You know we live in an end time. Repent and keep the commandment, and the coming of the Lord is nigh. Shalom, family. Shalom. More praise be unto the Most High. Shalom.